All right, so I thought I'd do a really kind of night and day. So last night I checked in, had a hard day, was in flare. Like I said, I was going to be hopeful that the next day was going to be different. Boy, do I feel good today, and it's already been a pretty magical day. So everything's going really well. Even to finding a new spot here near the beach that I actually keep a secret because I've got Wi-Fi here, which is a huge deal. And I was able to use why don't I start there? So I'm going to show you some of the things that I use living out of my Subaru Outback here. And as always, ambient noise, I apologize, but I got a mic on. I even got a little wind prevention thing here. So people looking and seeing what's going on. So let's first go to something I'm going to show you. That I have a power strip. If you can pack a power strip, it's pretty important, whether you're going to the library, to Starbucks, because you'll help other people out by giving them extra plug-ins, which is always great to do. And in addition, you're gonna be able to help yourself out, which is great. This one actually has a couple USB plug-in ports. So this is what I want to show you though. This was very inexpensive. I've used the cheaper version even, but these are extenders. This is a TP-Link extender, 5G and 2.4G gigahertz, I think it is. So how does this work? Well, let's say you're even outside of a Starbucks, which I was last night. Didn't just park near it. I needed to upload a video. I can't be paying for data and everything like that. I mean, right now, every dime, nickel, penny goes to my healthcare and to my food and gas, which you'll hear I'm running my car right now because I'm charging a few things. And sometimes I admit, again, sacrificing some environmentalism for an ability to sustain myself while I'm recovering from chronic illness. You know, you choose your battles, and until I'm working fully solar and electric, a whole nother next step that I'm going to be doing. So this guy, you plug it in to your inverter in your car or wherever you are, and you can extend that Starbucks Wi-Fi to your car. It's a repeater, and it's excellent. So out here last night near the beach where I'm sleeping, plug it in, I find some Wi-Fi. There's no security. I'm not hacking into anybody's stuff. I would never do that. It's just no security. But on that note, everybody should have a VPN. I use NordVPN, N-O-R-D, because there are people that are unfortunately trying to take advantage, and it's happening more and more, that they're stealing not only your identity but your photos. And if you don't secure your network, or if you're on a public Wi-Fi, you should always do that. So whenever I'm plugged in, I connect with my VPN to make sure no one else can get onto my computer or phone. But these things are excellent, and it's a great little hack that you can use. No pun intended, I'm not hacking into any system. This is just like a life hack kind of thing. So, because we all need Wi-Fi to sustain life, right? How else are we gonna be alive? Jokes, because you know I'm trying to unplug. I met an amazing individual yesterday who has no cell phone. He works in the finance industry. It's been 3 years unplugged, and I'm hoping to interview him about the true walking the walk of digital detox. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, this nature's telling me with this wind. So you might go, God, does he stink? Smell pretty good. Smells pretty good. Am I hygienic? Yes. Now, often that's at the sink showers over here, or the showers on the beach that I do. What you just saw is my trash bag falling off there because of the wind. But I go to the beach, I use the cold water. Yeah, when you're washing your hair, and even when I use some conditioner, I don't do that often, but it's harder to get out with cold water because the warmer water helps pull it out. But the cold water is going to keep you quick, and it's going to get the job done. The other thing I use, and I'm not affiliated with either of these brands, but they're pretty similar. This is Gold BJJ. A lot of people use these in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes or gyms because of all the resistant staph infections and things you can get from those areas. I've been using defense wipes for years now, and these, when I lived in my tent, or even when I just want to be hygienic, they're mainly tea tree oil. They really prevent you from ringworm, athlete's foot, they say impetigo, jock itch, acne, staph, tinea vesicular, whatever that is. But generally it's distilled water, tea tree oil, eucalyptus oil, peppermint oil, and something called plantisol. So instead of using these antibacterial soaps and triclosan and all these type of other things, these are really excellent. This is pretty much the same. This has some eucalyptus in it as well, and chamomile. So I'm looking forward to trying this as well. A couple other ingredients which I look at to see with these guys. They're out of San Diego, so I'm going to try to contact each one and see if I like them, but hopefully down the road Gold BJJ or Defense Wipes will be one of the affiliates that I use, because I've been using them for years and no ringworm. I have had ringworm before, and you know where I got it? After all my years of wrestling, everything, never got it from a hot yoga place. Those places are gnarly, most of them, so protect yourself. Ringworm sounds like a worm. It's not. It's just generally athlete's foot. It's a fungal infection. You can get it on your arms or wherever. It's very common. It's on all yoga mats, all those types of things. So be aware of it. It's pretty easy to clear up, but it's annoying. So that's one of the ways I do that. This is my little staging area. I pulled over to this side of the street to get out of the sun a little bit, hence the hat I'm trying to wear. This hat, by the way, is a family heirloom. I have my Greek side of the family with my Greek fisherman's hat in there, and I have, which is passed down from my papu, my grandfather, and then this one is from my mother's half of the side of the family. It's a wool felt hat that I found and I've claimed, and I'm not doing for hipster reasons. It's just a family heirloom that I am wearing now. So make fun of me if you wish. I always have some trash bags, because I believe if we're on the side of the road, if we're using resources and we're living outside and society is allowing this, we should take care of our environment as much as possible. And that means if you're peeing in a jug, whatever you're doing, which this is what annoys me the most, is a lot of these people are doing this and they pour them right out on the street and it smells like piss everywhere. It's ridiculous. You can go find a bathroom, pour it out. And I know not everyone's able at times, but I just wish people would pay attention a little bit. And you do what you can. I always put my trash away, and I definitely dispose of any bodily fluids in the proper places. So, whoa, almost took out the camera and things here, but I think we're good. So I think I'm in frame, but I'm gonna see here. Pretty sure. Sorry about this. I'm just still adjusting to using all my little equipment. So over here, vanity, a mirror. Bought this off Amazon a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. It's got a little handle. Can't believe I haven't broken it. That way I can put a hook in a bathroom, hook it up. But what I do is I put it right on the side of my rack here. People look at me funny, but I'll be out here shaving, just kind of brush my hair, whatever. Use a mirror to shave. It's okay. You want to be, this is a whole other topic, but I was just talking about it with one of my new buddies here that's doing this, and we're talking about the need to be presentable as possible. It's society's rules, and sometimes you don't want to play by them, but actually, just like anyone, if you present yourself well, people are going to accept you better. And why give yourself more? We're already swimming against stream, being on the margins. People are already judging us. They're already making assumptions. Not all, but many. And I think you're not doing yourself any favors if you don't play the game a bit. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. And I've learned that being presentable, whether I'm going to a coffee shop, doing anything, it eliminates a lot of those barriers. They're unfortunate barriers, but they're there. And if I ignore them and I don't pay attention to it, I'm fighting another battle, which I don't need to. And that doesn't mean I won't try to speak out and try to remove some of these assumptions and these prejudices that happen in society. However, I'm not going to change that overnight. And right now I live in the now, and I've got to figure that out. People do what they do for themselves. I get it. Not everyone has the energy, the ability to be hygienic, let alone have the clothes or something to look presentable, to keep a shirt white or I understand because I get there too, but as best as you can, I think it's super helpful. So let's go on to what else is here. This is my cooler. It's got my medicine in it, my important peptide medicine that I've been using injections. Here's another medicine that's super important, how I start my day. I just made my pour over coffee. I have a French press that was lucky enough to have a gift card for Amazon somebody sent that I was able to buy. I think it's $23 stainless steel French press because I think it's going to make it a lot easier and won't have to worry about the reason my glass part to this Bodum pour over broke, so I'm using a non-BPA plastic thing to do the pour over, but it's not ideal. And I've had this for about, I think I bought the stainless steel kettle with copper bottom about 7-8 years ago on Amazon for maybe 20 bucks, but it's real lightweight and it's a great thing for heating my tea, everything of that nature. And then what else we got here? So what I do in the mornings, depending on how I'm feeling and how quickly it happens, sometimes it's much earlier. Sorry, need some coffee. And I get out this bin, the bin of supplements, dun dun dun, powders. So I've got my creatine, which I take every day. I've taken it for many, many years. Not gonna go into depth on that today, but I'll tell you about it. My L-glutamine, my whey protein. This is important. My red reishi mushroom powder. Terrasol superfoods. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Everything I mentioned, this is not an ad. I'm not affiliated with anything. I just have used some certain things for years and I find them really good. So I spend a good little portion, usually if I haven't set it up for the week, which I haven't, then I have to do my daily supplement setup. So what does that mean? Well, I've got this little container. I put my morning supplements in here, put the night or afternoon ones here. I take these in the morning, then I close it up and I have my afternoon supplements ready for the rest of the day. So like you've seen before in previous videos, there's usually about 20 pills in each, 20 supplements. And I also begin to put my potions in here, which is going to be chlorella, chloroxygen. It's a brand that I use to give me some more iron in my blood and oxygenate my red blood cells. I put that in here. I also put in my minerals because I use reverse osmosis water, so I remineralize with trace minerals. And I put in my creatine, my L-glutamine, and I put in, oh boy, I'm trying to think of the brand, and it's the only one I use because it's no sugar, and it's also not super high in vitamin C, which I have to avoid. It's for my own personal reasons. I have to avoid vitamin C because of my kidneys. And it is an electrolyte powder, and it's not coming to mind. I will have it in the notes eventually, but this stuff is excellent as far as those types of electrolyte replacement powders go. And the reason I have to use this is different than most of you. I have to be on a diuretic for my kidneys that's called chlorothalidone, and I take a small dose. And I'm not going into details on why I do all these things because I don't think that's where we're at today. This is about overall. But my body gets rid of more electrolytes and I have to replace them. So that's why I have to take more magnesium, potassium, things of that nature, because I'm already getting them pushed out by some of the things that I'd use for treatment for my kidneys. So these are what are necessary for me. They're specific to the conditions I have and what I've been going through. And I do believe that we should, if we're healthy in general, be able to get the majority of our nutrients, minerals, everything from our food and from our water if it's in a clean water place. But if your circumstances of your health are not ideal, and not a lot of ours are, and these days, whether you believe it or not, I think most of us are bombarded by electromagnetic fields, by Wi-Fi, which is electromagnetic fields, by a lot more pollution in the cities, things of this. Even if you're healthy, your body's fighting a little bit more than it used to be, I think, some generations ago. Could be wrong, That's just my theory. Now, I have to take more supplementation because I've been compromised, because I've been sick for many years. And perfectly honest, I have some genetic predispositions, even vitamin D. You'd think I'm in the sun a lot. I'm a darker skinned person, not super dark, but the darker your melanin, whether you're African American, whether you're just a dark skinned Hispanic person, whatever it is, the more vitamin D that your body is going to need at times, because I know it seems reversed, but people with lighter skin absorb more vitamin D via the sun. And they have to be more careful of the sun. But for whatever reason also, and I know I didn't fully explain that, but essentially it's kind of an inverse relationship between the darker your skin, especially if you live in a place like northern Michigan or Sweden and you're dark skin, or Maine and you're from Sudan, your body, the very little sun that you're getting there, it's not going to be enough to raise your vitamin D levels to a point where it's going to be helping your body. And vitamin D is a very controversial subject. I've even learned before, in the beginnings of this, I was told to take way too much, and it really could have damaged my kidneys, and it may have, based on my kidney issue because of calcification. Now, that's my own particular genetic flaw, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's a gift. But for me, I learned not to have a super high vitamin D. For me, I'm shooting for about 50 nanograms, or like 60. I don't know if it's nanograms or whatever it is, vitamin D. Mine lately was about 40, and that's with supplementation, and that's with me, as you see me all the time shirtless out here. A lot of that's, it's not to show off, not anything like that. It's to get as much pre-noon time sun as possible. And even with that exposure, what I've learned through testing, I really think it's important to get markers in testing to kind of track things. We can't do everything through instinct. I can do a lot through it, but when you're compromised and you're trying to change something, measurement is really a great tool to make sure you're not wasting your money, not taking too much of something, too little of something. And so for me, I now kind of know, I got to bump up 1,000 more IUs, and we'll retest my vitamin D in a few months and see where we're at. Same with iron supplementation. So that's a little bit of the breakdown of what's going on here. I want to show you another couple important things. I have a bunch of these clips, small and large. They're excellent. And I'll tell you, back from when I lived on the farm, there's still little areas where spiders and critters hide in here sometimes. I've had a big old spider come out, but not right now, thankfully. You see me jump like a scaredy cat. But this is important. On mornings especially where I wake up in pain, I don't take any pain pills, Advil, Tylenol, nothing. I tell you that. But what I do use is cannabis medicine, and I use a 1-to-1 CBD to THC ratio often in cannabis flower. Sometimes I use it's a whole new thing. I don't believe in, the change is terpenes, not indica sativa, but I'd say more of a cannabis that is in line with the thoughts previous of what indicas do. Indicas seem to work better with my pain level in my body, and I will sometimes blend those together with the CBD flower. Or if I have the money and I have the stuff, I'll have a really good CBD tincture with some THC in it. And these are some of my morning starts that will help me a lot. So I have my kit here that usually has everything here, including, I have my pipe, which I just cleaned the other day, which is nice, just with a little cheap 90% alcohol from Rite Aid. And I always carry pipe cleaners along with me so I can clean things out. And my lighters are usually in there as well. So this is my little kit. It helps to have something that's just, I even put a little bit of shiny tape because it's black, and when you're looking for your medicine and it's hidden in your car with all your other stuff, you want to be able to find stuff. So these are little things I do. I buy dollar store duct tape, shiny blue, reflective. It's pretty cool. I love it. And I put that on stuff and I mark it because you need little things to help you find stuff. The same ways you can't read it. This says knives. I'm going to reprint them out, my label makers. You want to be able, this is first aid. It has all my swabs, my alcohol swabs, everything. It's got polysporin, things if I have cuts, all important new skin, which I use all the time to paint on all the many cuts and stuff I get. Because going in the ocean every day and stuff, when you go in with cuts these days, even if you're healthy, we all have heard the stories of people getting these horrible infections. I don't want to be one of them. Nope, ain't going down like that, not at all. And Band-Aids, grapefruit seed extract to cleanse anything I need. And here's extra toothbrush heads. Here's all my little tools, tiny screwdrivers, Leathermans, some box cutters and things like that. Funny story, somebody broke into my car in Albuquerque. Shocking! No, Albuquerque has the most crime out of anywhere I've ever been in my life. I love it, but true. And they broke in, but they left me this great box cutter. Win. Tape, all sorts of tape and hooks and clothesline for me. And then this bottom drawer has, I'm gonna wait a second. This bottom drawer has a lot of my spatulas, cooking implements, and my nitrile gloves that I wear sometimes when I'm handling meat, or if I just, and what else? Yeah, that's a lot of what we got. And this is cooking clean. So this has sponges, my measuring spoons for when I'm putting in butter and MCT oil and my supplements, and even down to I use a lot of straws, reusable ones, these plastic ones, and I have stainless steel straws. But I have these little brushes and such to clean them out. And because things can get pretty funky when you're living on the road, especially, and you really want to, if you're trying to get healthy and you're living on the road, but you're harming your health by getting stuff moldy, by getting stuff dirty, by letting your meat go bad, you're gonna do more harm than good with what you're trying to do. So below me right here is an anti-fatigue mat that you'd see in your kitchen, that you would use in your office when you're standing at your desk. I had several that I had collected over time that were in New Mexico when I was living there in my tent, and I had them spaced out around my tent, etc. I brought one with me, and it stays on the back of my hitch here, but I use it because I squat a lot, I kneel down, and I do my coffee and stuff on the ground. It's been I don't say lifesaver, that's a little dramatic, but it's been a knee saver. It's been a benefit. It's so nice to have, and it's just great. So, I don't have, as time goes on, there's a lot more little solutions and things I've found that have been really helpful. I'm really excited to share that part and give you guys a tour. I will say this, my sleeping mat that I've been using, it's been using it for years. I've patched holes on it. Well, it formed a big old bubble in it while I was blowing it up the other night, and I couldn't even, it was like right here, and I couldn't even, it's so big, I was so annoyed. I'm like, I just took my knife out and had to go, and so I'm just using the actual mat as cushion with no air in it now, and I'm gonna have to go to my storage unit and get my other mat, and hopefully it will fit in my car. So these things happen, but it shows you that not only do you not need a Tempur-Pedic super expensive mattress, you can do it otherwise. Your body adapts, and of course we all want some more luxury. Could we enhance improve our health via some comforts? Yes, but I do believe strongly that we over coddle ourselves, and that means living in a temperature controlled environment all the time. Our body and our blood doesn't get a chance to adjust. Our senses, our body, just from always getting coddled, it's like a cast on your foot. That's why I wear barefoot and I wear the Crocs and some other stuff. I believe the body's meant to be used, and it needs some stress in order to grow and to be better. When it gets too much, like too much pain in my car, too much, then it crosses that line. It's a fine balance, but I think when you juxtapose it against what we do when we're in a super cushy environment, because I'm working with clients lately now that are of great means, and they're struggling in the health department, because I think we've all learned this, I think, and I'm going to say I think about 100 more times. maybe. I believe that I've learned that money is great to have. It can definitely enhance things and comforts. But we've all seen those people with less money, but they're smiling, they're doing hard work. I think that we need to get back to that. And I say me. And I have been trying to do that for years now, and that's been one of the great benefits to this struggle, or this humbling without means, in learning that the biggest gift that's been given to me through this whole thing, and it gets me emotional, is that, man, I can't tell you how happy and I genuinely am as happy as I've ever been with as little as I've ever had to my name in terms of money, in terms of assets. And just, it makes me so excited about what's coming next. And as I get better, and as I get a tiny apartment, or I get a bigger van, which is probably what's gonna happen, and a dog, my Aussie Shepherd's coming. But to just know all the happiness that is already there in my day when I work and everything else I do is just the bonus. And I don't want to say that I'm glad I went through everything I've gone through to get there. And I think I knew some of this information before, but it is one of the things that I can't deny has happened via being severely ill for as many years as I have, and even getting my ass checked yesterday by illness, and just getting that, all right, man, you're not out of it yet. But I said to myself, I repeated my mantras yesterday and said, I love life, I love myself, I will get better. And today is just a setback. Is it going to be 3 weeks of a setback? Is it the end? Maybe, but it's probably not. And you know what? It was only less than 24 hours, and I feel fantastic today. So whoever you are in your illness struggle, whatever you're doing, realize that most things don't last forever. Sometimes I think they can be horrific, and it might be the beginning of the end for sure. So I'm not ridiculously optimistic or completely delusional about the positivity, but I think it can only help to believe that things are going to get better with intention, with putting yourself in the right places if you can, even if it's incrementally glacial pace. So enough of me for today. I'm super energized, as you can tell. I can't wait to finish my coffee and supplements, get in that ocean, do my cold water therapy, my yoga, my Kundalini yoga and Qigong, and then go to a cafe, or I'm going to go to the library, and I'm going to write and upload this video. All right, please like, subscribe, and tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and thank you for bearing with me with this learning process. So take it easy.